Hello everybody, welcome back to Tetris Attack, and I say back because it's been, I think, almost exactly a year since I've played this game. But last time we did versus mode, and I still haven't done stage clear mode, and the reason I'm doing this now is because we're in the middle of like two pretty long Let's Plays. Sonic has been going on for almost 40, and Bayonetta for a little more than 20. And so I'm just adding a little variety into the mix because I feel like it's really just something I want. But Bayonetta should be ending soon, but still, no problems with a little stage clear mode. So for those who have played Pokemon Puzzle League, this is the equivalent to the Team Rocket area of that game. Something about a spa. For each round in these messages, you can learn lots of different hints. Eliminate everything above the clear line in order to clear the stage. Remember, stay calm and don't panic. It's kind of hard to panic. These levels are kind of easy. It's basically, it's not a versus anymore against another character. It's, I'm pretty sure we'll just be able to, yeah, the clear line's right there. So it's pretty easy starting out. It does get harder and faster as you go on. But that is down the road. Let's see, it's been a while since I've played the game. Let's see if I can build anything up. So far, so good. Nope, there's nothing there. Okay. Failed experiment. I am a mess. No. Nope, nothing. Okay, I'm just gonna clear this. This is going to be hard to talk with, because there are some things I want to talk about. Because I have to kind of... I'm actively looking for combos and stuff, so of course I want to find the combos. Here, do that. Do that. We're not going to be able to clear it. Hold on. Boop. Boop. We should be good. And there. That's clear. Bunch of eggs appear everywhere. It's probably different for the different stages. But yeah. And so we just have 5 to do for each character, and this should be a few episodes, more than versus mode, I think. Get ourselves some room here. But what I wanted to talk about is I wanted to talk about Mario Tennis for the Wii U, because it's kind of trash. Not completely trash, just kind of. The thing is, it's a really good game. Everything about it is pretty high quality, except it doesn't have a lot of content. Literally the only problem is there's not a lot of stuff in it. They removed tournament mode because, I don't know why, but tournament mode has been in the series. I can't really speak for the handheld games, but it's been in the series for the entire time. It was the main mode of the game. You can't just take that out. Now, I think they were thinking to, kind of replace it with Knockout Challenge, which is basically you keep fighting enemies that get better and better until eventually you lose, and it just keeps on going forever. Dang, we're one short. And I enjoy Knockout Challenge a lot, but it's just there's no tournament mode. Like, there's no tournament way to do any tournament thing at all. Tournament. And it's kind of off-putting, because it's so different from how every other game in the series has been. You see, sometimes you can get it to where you can match up, you can get a combo like that where there's a space open between the spot you need to get the block that's falling. I don't know how to explain that, but it's possible. Let's get us some more room. But yeah, there's that, and then there's online, and those are two very good features in the game. They work really well, except you can't play with friends online, which is another baffling decision that I can't honestly think of one reason they had a good reason to do. I don't see much to do here. Like, everything's way too far away. Stop it. Yeah, everything's too far away for me to match with that one. Here, this will be good. Boom. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I'm obviously probably not as good as I was when I previously played this game, just because I had been playing this game recently when I played it last time. This is pretty much cold turkey since I played it last time on the channel, which was a little more than a year. But yeah, Mario Tennis kind of sucks. I enjoy it personally. Like, I realize it's kind of a crappily designed game, but I personally enjoy it because I do enjoy the training your amiibo aspect of it. I already have a fully trained Yoshi amiibo, and I do really like the online mode, which I also played a lot of in Mario Tennis Open, which is on the 3DS. Because it's fun to destroy people and watch them get worse and worse as they get mad. I still have not lost a single match. Oh wow, didn't expect that one to match. I haven't lost a single match online, and I don't know if it's just because... I don't know. I don't know why it is. But it just seems like... I feel like Mario Tennis is my best game. Like, competitively. And I kind of wish there was a competitive scene for it. Which is stupid, because it's a tennis game, but still. No, there's not a way to do anything there. Here, let's get everything down and make more room. But in addition to that, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon also came out the same day, and it is a dang good game, I gotta say, so far. I haven't played too far, and I think I'm halfway through, because you know how the Mystery Dungeon games always have that little screen where they show you all the bosses that are left. And they're like, each boss has their own little square, and it shows what the boss is whenever you get past that boss. I'm at 4 out of 8, so I'm assuming about halfway, but I feel like I haven't even scratched the opening because there's still, like, I think there's another entire town that I haven't been to in the game, which is new for Mystery Dungeon because usually it just entirely takes place in one town, which I guess could get old. I never thought of it getting old, but now I think about it, it's kind of weird how it's an RPG that only has one town in the game. I mean, it's not your traditional RPG. And in fact, I think Mystery Dungeon is basically its own genre at this point. Because there is that, I think it's Etrian Odyssey Mystery Dungeon. But yeah, I think there's another town that I'm going to right now. I'm like on this little journey segment, which is like chapter 10 or something, I don't know, 12 maybe. But yeah, seems like there's a lot more to this game that I've yet to see, even though I've beaten half of the bosses. And of course, I'm still super excited for the entire like post-game, because the post-game has to be humongous. Because if they're going to add every single Pokemon in, then like remember in the first game where they had like 3 different post-game little subplots, I guess, for each legendary Pokemon that you could get. Like there was one for Kyogre, there was one for Latios and Latias, and there was probably some others that I don't remember. But yeah, I remember there being like all this stuff about that. And it was a humongous post-game. Well, if there's the amount of legendary Pokemon that they're saying there is, which is every single Pokemon, then I just figure this game has to have a humongous post-game because that's where they have to fit it all in, right? Right. And the way you recruit Pokemon is different because, and of course, this could all change by the time I get to this new town where it could play traditionally, like a traditional Mystery Dungeon game. But at this point, if you do a job for someone, most of the time they'll join your team. And that makes me really happy because the first Pokemon that joins you is Sylveon. Look at me, I'm Lakitu. When you form a combo or chain, the panels stop rising for a while, like it matters because I'm too good. And also, I should probably pay attention to the passwords. Don't really plan on doing this entire game in one go, though I probably could, it wouldn't be that long. But yeah, as of right now, there's not a traditional way to recruit Pokemon like you would normally do in the dungeon. Though that could change. Kinda hope it does. But if it doesn't, like, I don't know how exactly you're expected to, befriend legendary Pokemon and whatnot if you're not, like... Shit. I could have done a 7 there, but I didn't. It's weird hearing that sound. That little da-la-la-la-la-la. But because it seems like a Pokemon song, because I first heard it in Pokemon, whatever it is, the Pokemon version of this game. I first heard that little diddle. Diddle's not a word, is it? But I first heard that in that game, so I just always associated it as a little Pokemon song. But it's not. And that's weird. Here. This is... Aw, it matched, whatever. I was gonna say that was unnecessary, but it turns out I'm not even gonna be able to do it. Oh wow, I was looking up at the time and I was like, wow, it took me 7.5 minutes to do that one stage. But no, that little timer up there is accumulative, it never resets. Alright. But this mystery dungeon has made a ton of improvements and what you could consider not improvements to the game. For one thing, there's a lot more abilities in the game, but the abilities are a lot more overpowered. The ability Unburden, which was previously not in a mystery dungeon game, lets the Pokemon attack twice sometimes if they're not holding an item. That's insane. Because I'll have you know, I am in a dungeon right now where there are Drifloon and they have Unburden and they can kill you in one turn. Because they'll just use like Astonish twice and you'll be dead. Also, another thing is there's a lot of difficulty spikes. That's the word. There's a lot of difficulty spikes throughout the game. There's one dungeon called Nectar Meadow, I believe. And it took me 2 hours to get through that area. I had to train up my Pokemon a couple of levels before I could get through, and training Pokemon levels in Mystery Dungeon does not take a short amount of time like it does in the actual game. And it's generally the dungeons that you're forced to go in with you and your partner Pokemon. Another thing that I really liked about the game is that it still has the quiz and everything, just like the other games. But if you don't like the Pokemon that it chooses for you, you can choose to change it. Like, it'll give you the Pokemon and it'll be like, is this okay? And you can be like, no, and it'll be like, oh, choose your Pokemon. Like, that is the raddest shit. I love it so much. And also there's this decision that it asks you to make, where it's like, is your partner cool or cute? And I still honestly have no idea how it affects the story, whether you choose one or the other, because it doesn't affect your gender. I'm assuming the partner's gender is always a boy, or maybe it's different depending on what partner Pokemon you get. But unlike the other games, it doesn't ask you for your gender, it just gives you a Pokemon, which is good, because I really hated how on other games there were gender-specific Pokemon, because obviously Eevee is my favorite Pokemon, yet you can only get it if you chose to be a girl in the first game. And Skitty is by far the strongest Pokemon of any of the starter Pokemon in the first game, but it was also a female-only Pokemon, because it has Double Slap, and any attack that attacks multiple times is basically overpowered. Mystery Dungeon is very different than the original game. A lot of the mechanics are different. And one mechanic that was different was that if your Pokemon was immune to a type, say if you were a Ghastly, a ghost type, which is immune to normal attacks, and you got hit with a normal attack, it would still hit you in Mystery Dungeon. But they changed that in this game to where it's actually not effective. Because before, I believe it was treated as a 4 times weakness, as opposed to a full-on immunity. And critical hits don't do nearly as much of a difference as they do in the newer game, or the older games. It seems to me to do like maybe 1.1 to 1.2 times the damage. So it's completely minuscule at all and not needed, but there are ways to boost your damage of your critical hits. Because if you play the game, you'll see that whole thing. But there's a whole like new system thing that, I don't know, hard to explain because it's awesome, and there's a lot into it. But God, I could just go on about Mystery Dungeon all day. What do we have? One more to go here. All right. Other differences. I can see how some people might not like the situation of this game, because in all the other games it was assumed that you're like an adult, but in this game you are very clearly interpreted as a child in this Pokemon world. even though you're not a child. Okay, there's one line that your character says at the beginning. It doesn't say, but they think. And they're like, oh, so I'm a child. That's what they say. So that's assuming, apparently, that in their previous life as a human, they weren't a child, which is interesting. Although I doubt this game will give any insight to what their life was as a child, or as a human, because none of the others have done it, and honestly, there isn't a need to. Although I think it would be really cool if they did do that once. Just something different and interesting to put it apart from the other games, but really this game is... it shines out as its own game in the Mystery Dungeon series, because it changes enough to where it's not like the others, and I believe this is pretty much what they tried to do with the first one that was on the 3DS, the one that was really bad. But this time they just did it correctly. Well, with that, what do we have? There's 6 rounds total? I think that there is. Oh, I'm gonna stop it off here. We'll start this this stage and the next episode. So I'll see you all then, and goodbye.